More work on my Defiant. I went ahead and installed the gooseneck flexible microphone tubing that I got, along with the nuts that I obtained that are special for this. Now this is a 27 thread per inch tube specialized for microphones. Musicians use these things, and it's 5/8 of an inch in diameter. I went ahead and made the hole bigger. I just sliced out the stand that comes with the kit, and I went ahead and put the 6-inch gooseneck in, screwed it in place, and I've threaded all the wires from the lower half through it, including the phaser cannons, which I've already done a test on, and which are pretty cool using the Starling board. I'll include it in this segment. It's a phone video, but I can probably incorporate it into the segment, or if not, I'll just shoot one with this. At any rate, for the most part, the lower half is finished. I just need to glue in place the clear pylon that I'm going to use to support the center, as well as another one in the front, and turn my attention to finishing the upper saucer, which I've almost got. In installing the nacelle navs, I unglued this thing and had to glue it back together. I did the same thing on the other side. That's how weak these things are. But they're in. These are, let me see here. These are the red ones because it's the port side. Let's see what else. I have the lighting for the underpiece finished also. This is the piece that goes under the nose. These are amber, and I hazed them. Amber 3mm LEDs, and I hazed them. I also completed the lower half piece of the nose, and I put a 1.8mm LED for the lower nav. I've decided to put a nav in the bottom also, so it'll have 6 navs, 4 aft, 2 in the upper half and 2 in the lower half, and 2 forward, 1 in the top of the nose and 1 in the bottom of the nose. Those will be the blinking lights, as it were. It'll have static green and red navs on the sides of the nacelles, as I've shown you. It'll have the pulse cannons, which I will demonstrate soon enough. Pulse cannon phasers, and it'll have both quantum and photon torpedoes, thanks to my using a bicolor LED for each of the torpedoes. They're wired in there, and with fiber optic, so that the quantum torpedoes will be white and the photon torpedoes will be red. I'll wire them up with a little slide switch, which will be at the base, and which I can switch. Anyhow, let me go ahead and wire this up. I think I'll just go ahead and do this through the camera here, so it looks nice. I'll set up a demonstration of the phaser cannons and show you. Be back in a flash. Okay, I'm back, and I've set up the phaser cannons for a demonstration. I am using the Starling Gen 2 photon torpedo with nav strobes board, and I've also got the optional remote control, so I can activate it from across the room. It's an RF remote control, uses an antenna, and up to 40 feet according to the instructions, I can go and activate it. One push gives me quantum torpedoes, which I haven't wired. Two pushes give me the phaser cannons. The nav board is set up and powered up. You can see it. The nav and photon and phaser board is powered up. You can see it comes with its own little plug wires, which you can then connect up to your own wires, and the soundboard is also connected to it. As you can see, it's still in its bag, but it makes enough of a sound that you'll hear it. Well, there it is. I pressed it. Let me turn off the lights and I'll show you a more deliberate demonstration so you can see it. All right. The sound you hear at the end is an explosion. Oh, by the way, here's the remote. I just hit it twice. The sound you hear at the end is an explosion. When ordering the board, you can specify on a note through PayPal that you don't want the sound and they'll take it out. I meant to do that, but I forgot. And I realized it by the time I'd already placed the order, but I figured, what the heck. I can have that sound in there. And actually it sounds cool, so I don't mind it. So the plan on the build is now that I have pretty much everything set up in the lower half, I'll finish the upper half. The only major lighting, well, the only lighting left really is the deflector dish. And using J. Barron's kit, I had a couple of problems. The clear plastic grid that's supposed to be glued on the inside of this thing came broken in a couple of pieces and it just smashed. So I'm going to have to first paint it in a clear blue and then glue it to the back of this as best I can to make it look good. That's going to take some doing, but not much I can do about it. I have to work with it. It's either that or use the part that comes with a kit, which is here. The two parts are basically identical, except this one has a plastic grid, and I'd have to cut it out and I'd be left with the same thing. So this one, I guess, will be the one I use. It has a few little pits. I'll do a little sanding and then repainting, and actually that's just primer. I'll paint it after I sand it a little bit and put some putty on it, and then I'll paint these individually with clear blue Tamiya and glue them in the back so that I could try and hide where they're broken. This is the part that goes underneath. The center will be painted the color of the hull. The sides will be a very dark gray or black. So there's not much assembly left. This was a major step, putting in all the wiring through here from the bottom half, and it fits really nice. This gooseneck, I got it because I can pose the ship in any position I want based on how this thing is flexible. Of course, I'm not going to grab it here and move it because that'll crack the model, so you bend it down here. This is very rigid. It holds up a mic that weighs a fair amount, so you can bend it, set it up in a banking position. You can move it forward so it's diving. You can move it backwards so it's ascending. Really any way you want, and I've always wanted to be able to pose these ships, and I hadn't really come up with any idea to do that, and my friend Keith Purcell suggested these, and I had my doubts. I didn't know they were going to be this rigid, but frankly this thing is very stiff. It'll hold up this and probably much heavier kits, so I highly recommend it if you want to have that ability. This is the bottom part. It comes individually. It's a flange. It has a little, it has a rubber tubing. I'll have to drill a small hole through the rubber there to get all the wires through. I'll probably just place this on top of whatever base I come up with, and that'll be the end of it. Very secure. So that's my progress so far on the Defiant. Hope you enjoyed that phaser demonstration, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.